Hi there, welcome to another episode of mine. And in this video here, we're joined with Liam from Gooner News TV and Tom, who you regularly see on Arsenal Fan TV. He does very good interviews, he's very passionate, talks his mind. And in this video here, we'll discuss about the Everton game last weekend, which was a brilliant victory. Don't you agree, Tom?
Yeah, brilliant victory, mate. Brilliant victory. Yeah, I thought it was great because obviously we haven't had the best of results in the since the turn of the year, mate. Really, it's been pretty woeful. It was great to see the players come out with a bit of desire and passion at Everton. A tough place to go, a really, really tough place to go. But I thought they'd done magnificent. I can't remember what minute Welbeck scored. I know it was early.
I
Do
think
you
it was
remember?
probably inside the first 10.
Yeah, it was inside the first 10, and it just, to see them come out with that passion and hunger was fantastic. And it surprised me because I didn't think they was going to come out like that. I mean, with the past results prior to that game, I expected them to come out in negative, and I expected Everton to really hit us. But we were fantastic, mate. And it just proved that goal from Welbeck really settled the nerves. It took the edge off the fans, you know what I mean? Because we haven't been happy since the start of the year. So it was fantastic, mate. It's a fantastic win.
Yeah, it certainly was. And also, what I felt about that is that the team looked fresh and they looked sharp today.
Yeah.
Liam, what do you think that was the reason why they looked up to it?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a great victory, isn't it? I think there's a bit of hunger, desire, a bit of
Mhm.
passion at the end of the day. That's just what you want from your team at the
Absolutely.
end of the day. I think we said this recently that I haven't seen a kind of performance like that since United when we beat them 3-0 at home. Um, that kind of confident win where we put Everton away pretty quickly. They didn't really have much at us. Um, so overall, Seb, I'm thrilled, mate.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a really convincing win and certainly a performance we can build on.
Mhm.
And also, Iwobi looks really good because
Oh, mate.
when he got his goal, he's provided confidence. Do you think that, Tom?
Oh, mate, he was fantastic. It's so good to see a player like him come through the ranks and come through and perform so well. I think I see something on Twitter the other day about he's only earning, is it 850 quid a week? Then you've got players like Walcott who show no passion, no desire,
He's shockingly out
no,
of form.
no determination. He's on what, £139,000 more per week than Alex Iwobi, who since he's played for the side has always put everything in. So it's one of those where you think to yourself, do you want him to get a pay rise and make him realise that he's valued, or you want him to stay at the wage he's on and make him work even harder to get that rise? And according to what I've seen on Twitter, he's got a pay rise, which I was a bit disappointed in. Because even though he's done fantastic so far, you need to give these sort of players something to fight for. You need to give them some sort of motivation to keep working hard for. So yeah, I think overall he was brilliant on the day, and he has been in 2016 when he's played. I think against was it, who was it against?
He
Against
played
Watford.
against, yeah,
Against against Watford, he hit the post. He come on 5 minutes later at the post. I mean, on another day that could have gone in. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So yeah, I've been really pleased with him, mate. And the goal at Everton just capped it off, to be honest.
yeah, definitely. Because I've noticed also when we lost 4-0 to Southampton, I noticed when Iwobi actually came on,
Hmm.
we actually looked a bit more hunger and a
Yeah.
little bit more oomph inside us. And the same thing happened to Watford when we went 2-0 down. The game changed, and then the
Hmm.
last 10 minutes, they looked like there was only one team in it. So I've
Hmm.
been saying for weeks, if these youngsters like Alex Iwobi or Jeff Rene Adderley are good enough to be on the bench and play for
No, he
Arsenal
should
Football
be on
Club,
it.
give them a go.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liam, what do you agree with me there?
Oh, mate, do I agree with you? Yes, of course, 100%. There's players like Awobi and Rene Adelaide who I think it's safe to say want to show themselves, want to show their worth. And I come back to my first point. They have a bit of passion and pride at the end of the day playing for Arsenal Football Club. But I said, previously, Theo Walcott is in a comfort zone. He's on 140 grand a week. I mean, he's, technically made it as a footballer. So does he really care? When you get to that point in your career, you're on 140k a week, you can say, yeah, that's me sorted. He's probably back of his head saying, I've done the hard work. Now it's just time to sit back and relax. But you've got people like Iwobi who want to actually play for Arsenal, play for one of the best teams in the world. And, so I think you just got to give these kind of players the biggest opportunity possible. But who knows? Arsene Wenger's going to put that out.
Yeah, I hope so. And you have to notice if a plan is actually working, then we have to stick to it, and we can't change it back. But with the likes of Theo Walcott, and I've also noticed Aaron Ramsey is shockingly out of form. Do you think that having these youngsters to actually come in and provide competition, and we've also got Joel Campbell as well, who's been brilliant the last few games, and he keeps getting pushed back to the back of the queue, which I think he's been a bit unfairly treated. Do you think that we have this competition now that Walcott and Giroud and Ramsey, the three who aren't in form, will actually realise, wait, I need to perform better now, or my position's under threat? What do you agree with it, Tom?
Definitely, mate. I think Walcott, especially. I mean, we've always had a lot of competition on the wing, even when Sanchez joined. Still had a lot of that added competition, but even before then, we still had the likes of when Arshavin was at the club, when we had with Oxlade-Chamberlain. Who else have we had out there? We've had a fair few of Podolski, for example. We've had a fair few of wingers. I think even Cazorla went out and was pushed out on the wing back a few years back. It just shows you that Theo Walcott hasn't stepped up, because in the past 5 years I haven't seen him do much. Honestly, I haven't seen him do much. I mean, against was it Man City, he was fantastic. We scored a fantastic goal. But other than that, I don't think I can recall a time where he's been. I've come away from the game and said he's been brilliant. So I think adding the likes of Iwobi, it does. How do I put it into words? It's sort of just the competition makes players work harder at the end of the day, and I think through that it just. Sorry, I'm just laughing at what Liam's got on his face.
Yeah, clicked on the wrong button, I think. Once that's sorted out.
Go on.
Yeah. I was just saying that the fact that we have this competition actually helps us, because the thing that we've been lacking over the years is squad depth and competition for places, and we feel that once you have more squad depth and lots of competition, then it will help you, because
definitely.
Usually, if you've seen lots of Chelsea teams and City teams, well, I hate having to compare myself to them because I don't like them, but basically you have to use them as an example, because they've always had a team, and Manchester United over the years, they've always had a team with lots of squad depth. So when their players get injured or not on form, you can just actually kick them out and just say, look, you're not performing, you're dropped. And Arsene Wenger hasn't had that over the years. He's been sticking loyal to too many players, and I think this is a part of the problem as well, because if they're not out of form, then they'll just stay. Liam,
sorry, Seb. What I was going to say was, I think I would like to see another world-class player added on the wing, because even though, as we said, we've got these players like Alex Iwobi, they're coming through. They're only going to learn from playing with better players. Do you know what I mean? If there was brought in someone like Marco Reus, who a lot of people watching this will say, oh, what did he do against England, mate? You should see what he's been doing in the Bundesliga for the past 5 years.
He's one of my favourite players, Marco Reus.
He's been fantastic. I think you add someone like him, because the likes of Walcott and Chamberlain, then, as we've seen over the past 10 years or 5 years, what Chamberlain's been with us, they're not good enough to win your league title, mate. That's simple as that. Alexis Sanchez on his day is absolutely unbelievable. So I just think if you add someone like Marco Reus, I think it'd just be so good for the likes of Iwobi and Joel Campbell, because they can only learn and get better from these players. So I think that's important. If you looked at, as you said, about over the years, like the likes of Man United and Chelsea and that, they've had that squad depth on the vital wing, a lot vital position like the wing. And you look at the players we've got around the wing. We need someone who can give good service to Giroud, because what's the point in having a 6'4" striker up there if you haven't got wingers who can put good balls in? So
Yeah, now on to that point, I personally think Giroud will work a lot better if he has a world-class striker with him. I personally think he'll benefit because go back to when Liverpool had like Suarez and Sturridge. Was really kind of like an average player to Giroud, but because he has Suarez behind him, it really helped him. And I think the same thing can happen here. Yeah, do you agree with me, Liam, with that? That we should...
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, I think you know, I was hearing Tom mention the names of Royce and some, you know, kind of players that I'd love to stick in the Arsenal squad. You know, it'd be a dream, but the reality of it is, you know, I mean, I'm hearing we're getting this. I don't even know how you say his name, but he's from.
Granit Xhaka? Granit Xhaka.
Don't know, it's like with an X in it, his surname. From Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
40
mil apparently. But then again, I've never heard of him. I'll be honest, I don't really watch Bundesliga football. But you know, I mean, could he turn into something amazing? Who knows? You know, I think with the transfer, I mean, he's talking about summer transfers. You know, apparently this one could potentially happen. There is quite strong rumours of it happening. Then again, I mean, is he more of like a centre attacking mid? Is he?
Yeah, I think he's a base centre mid. Like your Alonso, someone like that.
Yeah, I think El Nene is that type of player who we thought came in as a defensive midfielder, but we've actually seen that he's probably more box to box. So I think this is the same thing there with Granit Xhaka, and when we were linked with Sami Khedira, he has the same kind of impact. I see where people are coming from, and that could be an area because where we need to address. But I personally think we need to give more competition to Coquelin because I feel he's been pressured too much, and we've been needing that for years, like a new Patrick Vieira or something like the Kondogbia, Lars Bender. I still think we need to address that. Coquelin, don't get me wrong, he has been a revelation, but if he gets injured or suspended, I don't want to be going back to the likes of Firmino and Arsenal. I just don't think those two are good enough for the club.
The thing that worries me is obviously the fact that, so if this transfer does go through, obviously, the fact that you're spending £33 million on a player who no one really has a clue they are doesn't worry me in the sense that he's not going to be good, because I'm sure if he's going for that amount of money, he's going to have something good about him. Do you know what I mean? The thing that worries me is that, as we've seen over the years, Arsenal aren't prepared. You look at the year we signed Ozil, we didn't sign anyone else that big over what 15 mil. Looked when we signed Alexis, was it the next highest transfer was Welbeck for 15 mil. The thing that worries me is that if they spend that amount of money on a player who we don't really know anything about, is Wenger then going to be prepared to spend another 50, 60 mil on positions where we actually do need to properly strengthen, up top and in defence, places like that? Because that's what worries me. We've seen how stubborn he's been over the years. I don't want him to get carried away and spend £33 million on a player who no one has a clue about. But before his name got brought up, being completely honest, I've never even heard of who he was. So it worries me in the sense that I do hope that they won't just leave it there. If that signing was to be made, of course, it could just be rumours. But from what I've seen on Twitter, Sky Germany have said that we've approached them or made a bid, something along those lines. So I'm just hoping that Wenger, if he does make this signing, is then prepared to go and spend on areas where we really do need, like backup. Because in the centre mid position, I wouldn't be overly disappointed if we didn't strengthen this season. Put it that way. If we didn't strengthen up top, I'd be very, very, very disappointed.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, well, we've been needing that for years, and we know it is hard to try and get these top ones. But the thing what gets me is that we have the money to do this. We have it all. It's all there in the bank, but Wenger just doesn't be prepared to spend it. And Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Tom, about the point on where if we get someone in an area we don't need to spend a lot of money, then Wenger is happy. Liam, what do you think about that? Do you
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's areas we need to obviously adjust, and obviously there's areas where we have weakness. We supposedly have 200 million in the pot to spend. The reality of it being spent is pretty low. Um, Maybe we'll get one world-class signing through the door this summer. Probably
we better,
someone.
we better do, or we're in trouble.
Well, yeah, there you go. Well,
Mm,
we're in big trouble this season, which we should have had, sorted by now. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, there's areas we obviously need to look at, Seb, because if we're not winning the league with the poorest league in many years, then there's got to be a few issues.
yeah,
I look at one man, that's Arsene Wenger. But then again, the board haven't helped. So there's a lot of issues in the club still. But
yeah,
we just wait and see how it pans out, mate.
yeah, definitely. Because the thing, what really worried me is that when I saw Pep Guardiola go to City, I've actually said, right, this year has to be Arsenal's year that we do win it. And the thing is that we've had over the years that Man City, Man United, Chelsea, they've had more massive spending sprees. So when they be finishing above us, you can kind of come out with a teeny bit of excuses. But if Leicester or Tottenham win it, there's no excuses. There's
Mm.
just no more excuses. Just no more.
Even more so Leicester, because their team's about 22 million pounds.
Exactly. And
That's
Jamie
big.
Vardy coming out of nowhere, I think he was playing in non-league a few seasons ago. I think if that
Yeah, Fleetwood Town.
Yeah, I think if that was correct.
1
Yeah.
million.
The thing with Leicester is that they've been like consistent and playing with passion and just taking it game by game at a time. Every game they're just taking it game by game. That's why they keep rounding out the results from nowhere when everyone says, "Oh, they won't keep it up." But they are still up there, and the reason they're up there is because they know what they're doing. They're taking it seriously and one game at a time. I'm sure we're trying to take it seriously as well, but I think the problem with Arsenal is that we look too far ahead of ourselves and think against the hard teams, right, we really need to go in. Like Man City, we did well. Tottenham, even though we drew with 10 men, we actually played really well. Everton, we did well. Manchester United, back at the Emirates, we played very well. But when we come up the likes of Southampton and Swansea, we just think we can just turn up and we'll be fine. But it doesn't work like that, doesn't it, Tom? It just doesn't work like that nowadays.
No, I mean the thing is, mate, when you got your competitors around you who haven't done nearly as good as they've performed in previous years, like Man City, Chelsea, Man United, even Liverpool in some senses, you expected to step up, mate. You expected to step up, and this season it was our best chance I've ever seen us have since I've been in this world, mate. I've never seen us have as good as a chance as we've had this season, and players have just lost it, mate. Honestly, they've really lost it because about a week ago, I looked at the remaining fixtures and I did actually get some hope. But when I think about it realistically, I want to be optimistic, but I just can't see it. I really can't see it. I can't see Leicester losing 3 games now to the end of the season when they've only lost 3 games throughout the whole season. I can't see it happening, mate. And I just think it just really baffles me because, as I've said on Liam's channel many times, players have come, players have gone, one man has stayed, and that's Arsene Wenger. Mentality hasn't improved. Mentality stays exactly the same. Do the best you can from August to December, from January to May. It doesn't really matter. It's not how it should be, mate. It's really not how it should be. We should
Definitely not.
be. We should have kicked on. We should have kicked on when I think when we beat when we beat Bournemouth on 2 days after Christmas and we went top of the league.
Yeah.
Uh, or on Boxing, or I can't remember what.
We
Yeah,
played them, yeah, Bournemouth
yeah.
on. Yeah.
And Leicester had lost to Liverpool, and they drew their next game. Yeah, they drew their next game. We should have kicked on, mate. These players are good enough.
Yeah,
They're
they
good
are.
enough. They're good. They're good enough to know what it takes to win a league. I mean, Ozil's been there and done it. Alexis has been there and done it. Why don't this summer you go out and add some players who know as well as them to what it takes to do it? Because with this current squad, with the likes of Olivier Giroud, well, even when he was in France, he wasn't winning things, mate. With what the fourth, fifth best team is with Montpellier. You look at Theo Walcott; he's only ever been used to coming fourth. He's never won a league. Well, he might have won one league title at Arsenal in the Invincibles if he was
No,
there.
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't. No, that just goes to show he doesn't know any different than finishing fourth, mate. Because when the season before, even the season before, we moved to the Emirates where he actually got a look. He would finish fourth. Season after that, we finished fourth. He doesn't know any different, mate.
Yeah, if you've actually had a look at the last 10 years, it's either been third or fourth. So,
And I'm sorry, that's not good enough. It's not
no,
good
it's
enough,
not.
mate.
No, it's
It's not
not.
good enough. And I hate to go on about Arsene Wenger because
No, it's fine, don't worry.
I don't agree with all the stuff about what he's done in the past, blah blah blah. The geezer's won 3 league titles in 19 years. If you're telling me that's an achievement for such a big club, it's not an achievement for 3 league titles in 19 years. Sir Alex Ferguson won, what was it? Something stupid like.
I believe he won 10 trophies. In that time when Arsenal never won a
Yeah.
trophy, he won
And
10 trophies in a row
he
before
won,
he lost.
he won something like, was it 14 league titles with Man United in
Yeah.
26 years? But Arsene Wenger's won 3 league titles in 19.
Yeah,
It shows you the difference, mate, the difference in mentality.
definitely.
And I've heard on Twitter today that he's getting a contract extension for another 3 years.
Oh,
That's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, mate. And then I've seen Usmanov said, "Oh, give him another three-year contract on the basis that he spends big this summer." Well, Usmanov, get off your fucking arse, mate, and help him spend some money. Why does he have to make all the decisions?
Do you think though with
You're a majority shareholder. Go on, Liam.
I think a little bit with Usmanov is, I mean, look, I mean, obviously you don't know what the games are being played, but I think he's only got like 40% shares. Now, it's obviously still quite a lot, but I mean, obviously Kroenke and
Okay, yeah.
all still got more. He hasn't essentially really got a lot of control. Now, I know he's bought
Yeah.
a few more shares, but if he starts digging into like, oh, Wenger, get him out, we know what Kroenke and Gazidis are like. The money, they're making for the guys, and yeah, of course, Usmanov's getting a bit of that, and he's probably loving it. But I think he's got a bit more ambition at the club. But if he puts his foot out of line, then there could be consequences for him. So I think there's a lot behind closed doors that we don't know.
Yeah.
How true that statement is about backing Wenger, I'm a little bit suspicious. But if true, then we are screwed.
What I think is that the thing with Kroenke is that you got to remember he's an American businessman. He's got franchises over. He's got tens of franchises over there. Why would he put all into? Why would he put all of his money into an English Premier League side? He does it. He's getting his money at the end of the day. He's getting his profit back on top every year. Why is he then going to want to put more money in the risk that he might not get it back? Because you're not guaranteed to win the title with top players, but it will give you a very good chance. I just think the mentality of the whole club from top to bottom is wrong. It needs to change if this club wants to succeed, mate. And with Pep Guardiola coming in, that's not to say that Man City will win the league next year, because I genuinely don't think they will. I reckon Pep Guardiola will struggle in his first year.
interesting point.
I think he'll struggle in his first year. I really reckon he will. That's not to say he's not a great manager, but he's always walked into a fantastic team. You see at Barcelona and Bayern, he's walked into a fantastic team. Man City's team is all over the place, mate. You've got an aging David Silva, you've got an aging Yaya Toure, you've got players like Aguero who are hit and miss.
Champions League.
What's that?
Might not even get Champions
League.
League.
Exactly. So
yeah, that'll be an interesting point to see how he does manage to the Premier League, and he has got some players he can work with. I'm sure with Guardiola, what I like about him is that he will probably attract more players that he's
Oh,
worked with. Like you've seen the likes of Thomas Muller, Neymar, all saying they want to work under him. And also, what kind of worries me is that I hope he'll probably want Alexis Sanchez, and I'll be dreading that. I hope that doesn't come into there. Do you
yeah,
reckon?
surprise me. Really wouldn't surprise me. Half the
Yeah.
time, I don't know if Alexis wants to be there, to be honest. So
Yeah. He came out with a point recently about before the Spurs game, I think it was. He was saying that the team doesn't that's the passion and desire to go on and achieve big things, and I think coming from that, from one of our top players, especially before a big game, is worrying. Don't you agree, then?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's worrying. So,
It's
yeah,
goes to show you, he doesn't. You might think he's arguably our second or third best player, but if the mentality ain't there, mate, from top to bottom, why is he going to want to be here when he can go elsewhere? People say, will these clubs take him? A lot of clubs will take him, mate. A lot of clubs will take him. Man City would take him in a heartbeat.
for
Their wingers are appalling. Who they got? Jesus Navas. Who they got on the other wing? Sterling, who's
Sterling, Nasri.
very hit and miss. With Alexis Sanchez, I wouldn't say you guaranteed goals because we've seen this season he hasn't been at his best. But when he's around the quality of the players that Man City have got, you don't only see him excelling there, mate.
Yeah, and
Especially under Guardiola, as you said.
yeah, that's an interesting point. And with Alexis Sanchez, I said earlier in my video today that he has the pace, the desire, and everything to actually become a legend of the club. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Tom. What do you think about it, Liam? Do you think?
Sorry, was that for me, mate? Sorry,
Yeah,
I was miles away.
oh, that's all right.
What's the question?
Oh yeah, with Alexis Sanchez, do you think that he'll fit into any other team if somehow he does go this summer, which we hope he doesn't? But do you reckon? But what worries me is that Pep Guardiola is coming in. He'll probably want Alexis Sanchez in.
Yeah, I mean, Alexis's work rate, you can't fault it. He'll give 110, I think, near or less every game. This season, especially, he's been a bit hit and miss. I think it's safe to say. There's been opportunities where he's running rings basically around the penalty area. He's trying to cut in, but the defenders are blocking him off. He's getting frustrated.
Yeah,
But then,
and also I just want to mention that most games I actually feel Alexis Sanchez looks very, very, very tired. I think he's just getting a bit bored that he has to do most of the work. Like you saw at Swansea, he was doing a lot of the work at the back, cutting back, because no one else was doing anything. The thing is that other players need to step up, and we haven't had that this season. Well, Joel Campbell has stepped up, but Iwobi's starting to step up. Mesut Ozil's finally stepped up, but the likes of Aaron Ramsey, Theo Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, it was supposed to be their make and break season, and it's just not worked out. They just haven't stepped up. Because I think he just wants other people to step up. Then we can actually afford to rest these people, not overwork them. Because I know Alexis, I love his attitude. He's always keen to play. He's very passionate about playing and getting out there. But you can't ask him to do these things every game. Just like you can't ask Mesut Ozil to do every week.
Completely.
Other players need to step up.
Yeah, completely. I think I've been so impressed with Mesut Ozil this season. Even when times have been bad, I've been. I think everyone knows my views on him. I think he's a world class player, and at most times I feel like he's a step or two ahead of everyone else. He's looking for the runs, but he's not going to get them from Giroud. He's not going to get them from Walcott, and even with Sanchez, he's not the paciest player. He really isn't the paciest player. Like, if you put him on a foot race against someone like even Walcott, he wouldn't match him. So he's looking for them runs. He can't get them. That's why I do think that he's a couple of steps ahead of the other players, which is disappointing. Because when you've got such a world-class player like him, you don't want to get wasted. Do you know what I mean? So, as I said, even at times that have been hard this season, in 2016, I've always come away from the game and said he was our best player. And I don't reckon he'll leave. A few weeks ago, I would have said that I could have seen it, but I don't reckon he'll leave. Coming, I'll see something earlier on Twitter about. He said like we need reinforcements for next year,
Yeah.
and I think I don't reckon we will win the Premier League. I reckon next season will be his last season. I mean, he's done 4 years in England. I think he's done three in Madrid. So I think we will be lucky to keep him for another year. But
Yeah.
it worries me that I won't see the likes of Mesut Ozil again at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't come around often. We was lucky to see the likes of Bergkamp, and we've waited another what 10 years to see someone like Mesut Ozil, even longer than that. So
Yeah.
worries me
Yeah.
that we won't see the caliber of player like him again in his position for a long time, mate. Because if this club isn't achieving things, no one's going to want to come.
No,
So
they're not. No, they're not. But yes. And I just wanted to finally mention on the title race, do you think we still stand a slim chance if you look at those fixtures, or do you think we've totally bottled it?
oh yeah, definitely. I'm still optimistic. You know, if you do look at the fixtures, you've got to give us a bit of hope. I mean, uh, if we get if we get a result at West Ham and Man City, which is doable, it's very doable.
It's going to be hard though.
The quality we've got in our side is doable, but as you said, it'll be very hard. But the big thing is that it's doable. So if we get a result at them two places, we should comfortably win the rest of our games. I don't want to hear any of this about Sunderland are fighting for their life, or West Brom are near the deep end, Crystal Palace are near the deep end. They've still got something to play for. The quality of the starting 11 that we put out should be good enough to beat them. The sides we've got remaining. We've done it with Man
Definitely.
City last year. We can do it again this year. I know West Ham have been fantastic this year, and obviously I can't say that we've done it in previous years because their team this year has been a lot better than they have in previous years. But the team that we put out there should be good enough to beat them. There's no excuses now, mate. There's literally no excuses. We should go out there and win. Other than Man City, I would expect us to win every single one of them games.
Yeah.
So just got to hope for the best, you know. I think it's gone, but the Premier League, mate, there's always going to be twists and turns. So we just have to see how the rest of the season pans out. But hopefully, we've got to remember that we've got to hope that Leicester slip up and Tottenham, because if they don't slip up, I don't know what it is. I just really can't see Leicester winning the league. I really can't see them winning the league. I just think something indicates to me that they can't do it. But who am I to say that for a team that's been flying this season? So just have to see how the rest of the season pans out.
Yeah, and also I'm actually looking at that running, and I'm just saying, if Arsenal get this right, it really still can be done. But what we've really got to remember is that we can't keep going into all those home games just thinking we can just turn up, then we'll be fine. Because
No.
I've noticed that Arsenal have been looking scared. They've been looking scared when they're playing home games. Right? Well, you certainly can't underestimate Watford, because you saw what they did to us in the cup, and they've been good all season, Watford. And we've also got the likes of West Brom, Palace, which on paper are definitely winnable games, but you have to go into every game now treating it as if it's a cup final,
Yeah,
and
completely.
then I think we'll be fine. If you've actually, I've actually done a video on my predictions, what I think that's going to happen, and I have still backed my team that we can go on and win these games, and we
Hmm.
can possibly still stand a slight chance of winning the title. Because obviously, I don't like writing my team up too soon, but yeah, I'm just saying we just need to get this right, and the mentality needs to be right from top to bottom, which at the moment it isn't, and that does worry me, and I'm sure it worries other fans. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think it's definitely gone, but and of course, yeah, you have to rely on Leicester and Tottenham to slip up. They do have hard run-ins, but and also we'll have to see how they deal with the pressure. I feel Arsenal should be used to it, and we have actually been going on in previous seasons, been going on runs where we've had like 6, 7, 8 wins on the trot, and I think last season we had 9 on the trot. So we need to do that again now, because I don't think we've had that so far this season, and a run of wins. But we did have a good October when we won we won a number on the top. But Yeah, you never know. Liam, what's your thoughts on the title? Do you think it's gone, or do you still think we stand a chance? A slim chance?
Yeah, football's a funny old game, Seb, Um, a lot of things can change very quickly. Then again, I did say that, Leicester's run would end, 5 months ago,
Yeah.
or then I said 3 months ago, then 2 months ago. So you can kind of get the gist that when do you see it stopping? They're getting results. I mean, they were lucky to win against Palace. They got the 1-0 result away from home. Palace hit the crossbar, but they got the 3 points. Newcastle, they played at home. Pretty dead game, but Newcastle, put them under a lot of threat, but still walk away with the 3 points.
Yeah.
Yes, they have got a hard running, which is in our favour, and also Spurs. But then again, it's the Premier League. We say a hard running, but we lose to teams like Swansea at home. So,
Yeah, we should never have lost that game. I feel that we've had too many games this season where we've just dropped silly points, and
Yeah.
that's what really worries me. Especially Southampton at home, Swansea at home. I was at those games, and those teams were actually there for the taking. And earlier this season, you can go back to games like West Brom and Norwich when we didn't win. So yeah, it's sad that because it was all coming back to haunt us now. This is why you have to take the 3 points when you can, especially in vital games. And also when we played Manchester United on the Old Trafford, you saw the team they had out. I hardly recognised half their players because most of them were full of kids, and they still came up. They still came up and turned us over, which should never have happened. But no, never. These things, I know these things can happen, but they happen too much with us. So yeah, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much, Tom, for joining me. Thank you very much, Liam, for joining me. Have you enjoyed the show tonight?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
absolute pleasure to come on. And yeah, good luck with the account, and all the best for it, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Hopefully this is the first successful video of many, mate.
I really hope so, but
It's been a pleasure.
my mates, hopefully I want to do this because I'm very passionate about my club, and I feel like talking to most fans maybe will get a start. But hopefully all you others have enjoyed this video. So thanks very much for my guest. I'll be trying to do a bit more of these, and also let me know in the comments below. Do you think we can still win this title? Do you think? And we also spoke about Iwobi and some of the youngsters. Do you think that we should start bringing a few of them through to freshen this up? And yeah, just basically where do you think we can go on from here? And also give me your thoughts about the Everton game. Yeah, just leave it all in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do it now. Thanks once again to Tom, and thanks once again to Liam. Hopefully I'll see you at Watford this weekend, and yeah, onwards and upwards, up the Gunners.